In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to break down all of your competitors' videos, top performing channels, and the best keywords, SEO research, and everything you need to know about how to stand out in your industry and actually do a better job than everyone else. I'm literally going to be going through my agency's custom sheet that I've developed here to be able to pretty much break down exactly everything that's important to know about the video and whether it's successful or not. Same thing with the top performing channels in your industry. We're also going to go through specific notes about the videos and what they do well, what they didn't do well, and then we're going to condense that down into actual plans of action how to improve your content in the future so that we can actually know what we're going to use in our own content to make better or just copy from existing channels, which is really just the name of the game. And then there's some extra information we'll keep track of. So that's pretty much what I'm going to show you guys today, is exactly how I, for all of my clients and my personal brand, am doing research on existing channels and turn that into actionable results. Now, before we get into all the details as to what I wrote out for these videos, we're going to compare two videos real quickly, okay? Firstly, it's this video that performed 500 times better than any other video, and I'm going to show you why it's so important that this outlier score matters, okay? So this is the first one. It has 89,000 views, and we're just going to watch it real quickly. So this is the intro here, okay? Let's see if there's anything unique about it.
Want to buy residential investment real estate, but you really don't know how? Try the DSCR loan.
Okay, quick intro. Then he has this animated intro, and then he just kind of hops into it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Jeff Trevarthen.
But
Jeff
he does this
Trevarthen. Thanks so much for joining me today.
And then he kind of does this like slow, like, hey, thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about this. And then he repeats the DSCR loan thing. Nothing that crazy, not that exciting of an intro, and frankly, it's a bit old style having this sort of like animated thing, but that's okay. This one got 90,000 views and performed 500 times better than any other episode, okay? So maybe it was something to do with the thumbnail that we have right here, okay? Maybe this was it. Maybe it was the way it was edited, okay? Let's compare it to a video that he actually more recently made. So in theory, you would think he's actually learned the lesson as to why this video has performed better, because clearly, you know, Jeff's got 11,000 subscribers. He uploads at least once or twice a week, right? So like maybe he knows, you know, what makes a good video at this point. So let's try out something else, okay? This video was 6 months ago and it has 500 views. Why did it perform so much worse?
Method with
Let's see.
DSCR.
Same sort of intro, literally same animated intro. He's had this for years. And then,
hey, what's going on, everybody? Jeff Trevarthen, Jeff the Mortgage Pro. Thanks for watching today. We're going to talk about
literally the same intro with the same sort of intro text, the same animation, the same, hey, what's going on, everybody, within the same 20 to 30 seconds, which could also be sped up, by the way. Okay, there is nothing that's that different about this video that got 500 views and the one over here next to it that got 90,000 views. So why did that happen, right? This is where most people who don't understand strategy on YouTube are just going to get it completely wrong, because it's not something that it was edited. It's not something in the thumbnail. It's nothing to do with anything to do with producing the video, or even when you're making a video like this, even copywriting it. It's literally just the topic, okay? In industries like this, like the mortgage pros, mortgage brokerage, all this stuff, my client, Ryan Marks, is who we're doing this for, is none of this stuff is actually about the video production value itself. It's about the topic, right? That's why this video performed 500 times better than the other one, okay? So something to take note of here, more than anything else, is actually going to be the video's topic, okay? So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is go back into that video actually. So let's see if we can find it. So the first thing I'm going to do for this video is actually look at the top keywords that this one had, okay? So vidIQ is going to allow me to do this, all right? Pretty much what I can do is see that it has a 99.4 out of 100 on the SEO score, which is insane, honestly, because it's really hard to get a score like that. But it's because people are searching for it so much. So I'm going to put that up there. As you can see, it's literally got like 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s on almost everything except for tripled keywords, which is just basically how often you're going to repeat the same keywords throughout the video. But really not that big of a deal. This is where this stuff gets juicy. He's pretty much got his most important tags. He ranks #1 on this video for DSCR loans explained, which is pretty obvious considering how many views that it has, but still some people might not know that. So I'm going to copy those ones as our top 2 because he's ranking #1 for those, okay? So those are really important. I'm just going to take a quick note that those are the keywords that he's ranking for here. Take a note at this point of both of those keywords, all right? Very important to note. And pretty much what I've also written here is the number one strength of this video is topic quality again. Okay, so you'll notice that we have a few things that we keep track of for every single video that we research is whether it was the title that was good, the editing quality, the messaging and value, the SEO keywords, personality. In this case, it performed 500 times better for no fucking reason, to be honest. So it's got to be the topic, and people are searching for it, and clearly this video just answered the question quickly. Now, the question is, can we do something better than this? Potentially. We'll save that for a little bit later, okay? So that's the first thing to note here, all right? I've already pre-filled out for this video the engagement rate, the outlier score, and all these other things. So I'm actually going to show you guys how to do this for a fresh video now, but the basic idea was I took note of how the video has very basic editing. It could have a better intro. The pause was a little bit too slow there. Just frankly, nothing that special about it. And actually, I'm actually just going to fill out the rest of this for you guys so that we don't need to do this entirely from scratch, but I will show you a few things that we're missing here, okay? So let's just go over what I took notes on about this video as to why it performed 500 times better for no seemingly important reason. First thing I noted was that, frankly, it doesn't have anything that special about it. No special editing, no B-roll, nothing like that, which is actually what we're doing for our client, Ryan, by the way. That's who we're comparing this to. So we have Jeff the Mortgage Pro on one hand, and then in this case, I'm going to put our client up now. So Ryan Marks, we've just launched his channel recently, and you'll notice we actually have a lot fancier thumbnails. Whenever we're producing the videos, there's actually some really nice editing. You can see we've got B-roll going through here. We have fancy intros. Ryan has a nicer camera setup. All these things, right? All these things. But at the end of the day, Jeff's got this simple setup, nothing that crazy, and people are watching it. So what else did I take notes on as to why this performed better? Okay, well, no editing. Okay, so we took note of that. It's really not that necessary. Just bullet points in the intro to add a sort of visual hook to it. Okay, it had an audio hook as well, but wasn't actually anything that crazy. Okay, so the next thing I noticed, or what the video specifically did well, was it had some bullet points. So it had a text hook at the beginning, right? If we go back to that intro, I'm going to move this up to the top. Okay, so we already have it here. So basically in the intro of the video, the first thing he does is literally just adds a text hook that mirrors what he's saying. So he has a verbal audio hook and he has a text hook. Now, I think one thing we could improve on, which I actually took notes of this for one of these two videos, which again, they're both from Jeff, was that we could add a I noted that we have both the text and audio hook, but something that we could add or improve is add a visual hook, okay? So he doesn't have anything like B-roll or some form of actually showing what the DSCR loan looks like. So that was one of the first things that we actually did for Ryan. So if I pull up his channel here, you'll notice in the first part of the video, we have visual hooks. So Ryan's talking, it's nothing that insane, but we do have a little bit of text, similar idea there. I think we should actually add a bit more text in there. And then maybe this video isn't the best example. Let's see if we can find one. So we actually had, I think this one's a really good example. So this was a podcast intro, and we actually have lots of text flowing around on the intro again. We have examples of the broken properties. We're doing just really in-depth previews. Again, very visual hook. So that was one of the main improvements that we took from Jeff that we think we could do better, okay? Again, we removed everything like the long pauses that he has after the intro. So these are good things to take note on, what the video did well and what it didn't do well and what could be improved, okay? Next thing I have is thumbnail notes, what the thumbnail did well. So something that we actually thought for Ryan's channel initially was, okay, like maybe we need to go more pretty or interesting for the thumbnails to get people to click. And you'll notice we did that, right? So for some of these thumbnails, we went, okay, let's have a burning house. And that one actually didn't do too bad. This one has like some homes on it. This one has a giant calculator on it. This one has 2 houses on it. And you'll notice it didn't even perform that well. This one, a little overcomplicated, too much visuals, didn't perform that well either. But you'll notice this one right here, it's well made, but frankly, it actually performed the best on the channel entirely. This has a 6.6% or 6.6x outlier score. Did the best. Has a little house behind it, maybe a tiny bit of money, but nothing crazy. And it's just some big text. And that's what we noticed. The same thing happened for Jeff, okay? So on Jeff's channel, if we go back to the DSCR loans, the one with 90,000 views, this one is literally just a bunch of text trying to simplify down the whole DSCR process as much as possible. Learn how to buy investment property with DSCR loans. Nothing crazy, to be honest. So that's something we're starting to take note of. It's like, okay, let's just go for text and get to the point, but also explain it to as many people as possible. But also still be pretty locked in because we have a very specific target audience. But like literally, let's just model what's already working. Okay, so that's something that we took note of here as well. All right, so we took note of that on the thumbnail, and then something else. I'm going to show you guys a second video that I took notes on now. Is this one, the DSCR loans video. Okay, so I actually went into the comments section on this one. This was a more recent video that got about 7,000 views. Still has quite a nice outlier score. It's a 23x outlier score, so that one turned out good. And we'll note that, there was just a lot of questions in the comment section. So I started to note like, okay, there are a lot of questions in here. Let's see what they have, all right? We have some people asking about, I'm new to real estate. I'm eager to learn about factors such as cash flow, return on investment, and what to look for in a good opportunity. Do you work with beginners? Are you open to guide someone through early stages of the process? Someone else was asking, would you recommend I invest a large sum of cash that I have on hand into my first rental property? And basically, Jeff is able to respond to questions like these or make continuous videos about these topics, okay? So I basically took notes on what kind of things are people actually asking in the comment section? What are they saying they wish he would have talked about in the video? And that's literally free topics, yes, for Jeff, but also for us. It's stuff we can improve on in the videos, okay? So for that video, I took note on all the questions. Should I buy a house next with my cash? Do you work with beginners? Who is supposed to or how do you do rental surveys when researching the projected future rent, which is just a part of calculating DSCR loans? And so pretty much we took some notes on those keywords. And basically I've taken plan of action from both of these videos out of all these improvement notes, okay? And it's pretty much, we're gonna use the verbal and text hook, but we're going to improve on what Jeff has done by adding a visual hook, like I showed you guys, okay? The next thing is we're going to start focusing on the comment sections of the videos, and we're going to answer them in the comments and use them for more video topics. Another plan of action I'm actually going to add here is just shorten intros, don't add any pauses, and pretty much just another note that I did take from Jeff from these videos is repeat the topic that the viewer clicked on the video for, okay? So you're basically just reinforcing the idea like, okay, this is what you clicked for, you're gonna get it, okay? That's pretty much it. We don't have to take a whole ton of notes from all these videos, but it's just like, let's see what is working and what can we do slightly better. So that's what we do. That's what I'm gonna do for the next 30-ish videos, and I'll show you guys how that turns out. And then I've got some extra notes on keyword scores, okay? So that's pretty much the whole process of researching existing videos. Again, we first check out whether or not they're successful. Now, I will show you guys really quickly how I'm actually finding videos like these. So the first thing I'm doing is looking at topics that are actually really popular, topics that our client's currently using. So these are actually videos that our client already has on his channel. Again, so these are actually things that Ryan has. So these are actually topics that Ryan has. So these are like topics and titles that we already have existing. And we need to see, okay, how can we improve this? So I took some topics like this, like DSCR loans. That's what we've been doing. But what if we looked up bank statement loans now, okay? Because that's another topic from Ryan. All right, so let's do bank statement loans, okay? Search that up. Boom. Jeff is at the top of bank statement loans again, all right? So what we'll notice is, again, this one has, I have a couple of different outliers. So vidIQ thinks this is a 31x outlier. I think 1 of 10 or view stats is what these two are. But either way, we're seeing that these videos are performing 10 to 20 to 30 times better than the average video, calculated differently by each of those three tools. We're not going to get into all those details, but we can see, again, this one's performing the best. So I'm actually going to literally copy the link to that one because I want to research that video next, all right? But that's pretty much how I just do it. I just use vidIQ is what I would recommend, just to keep it simple. You have one tool that does it all. vidIQ tells you the outlier score. You can see clearly it's ranking really well. And if we want to get into more details on this, again, just taking the keywords, searching up stuff, and then seeing what pops up at the top. vidIQ is confirming it has a really high outlier score. It's still got some views per hour, but I would say the most important thing is just, is it an outlier on a channel that's relatively small? Small channel from Jeff, outlier score of 31x. That's pretty much all you need to know. This is a great video to take notes on, okay? That's literally all you need to do, and then you can start taking notes on, okay, what did this video do well? Was it the messaging? And then you can turn that into a plan of action, okay? So that's pretty much it. Now what I'm gonna do is show you guys my overall determination of Jeff's channel. So the first thing I'm gonna say is for Jeff's channel, we already touched on this, but his channel #1 strength is definitely topic quality, okay? Not even gonna debate that with anybody here. First thing I'm gonna do is paste that in here. I'm gonna put his channel link and name. So There we go. Uh-huh. So we're going to put a chip in there. Okay, so we've got a note of that this is Jeff. Okay. His subscriber count is 11,000 subscribers, and average channel views per video, I would say, is honestly around 1,000, just from what we've been able to tell. Okay. I'm not going to get into the details too much. You can pretty much assume for the most part what average views are going to be for the person that you're looking at their channel for. All right. Average engagement rate for the channel. Honestly, these kinds of things aren't super important, but you know, you can check in if you want to like figure out what an average figure is. So you can pretty much estimate this by just seeing, okay, he's got an 8.8% engagement rate on this video, on his average videos that he's posting day to day, 6.4. And then on the videos that perform well, obviously people aren't going to engage as well because there's going to be more people clicking on it but not as interested. So we can probably put a range of the engagement rate to be around 2 to 8% from what I can tell. Okay, I think a range is typically the best for engagement just because it's really hard to say depending on video performance. So we'll just put 2 to 8% engagement rate, and then channel keywords is pretty simple to find. Again, if you have vidIQ, it's literally going to give this to you for free. You're just going to go to the sidebar on every single video here. You're going to click on Overview. And then on the side here, it literally tells you channel tags. So I'm just going to copy those. And these channel tags are going to be very useful because, again, now we have 20 more tags that we can literally use, right? I'm just going to start searching up this one. And obviously, of course, make sure it's relevant to your client. If they don't make videos or they don't want to make videos on these topics, then don't. But clearly, if this is a channel that you want to take note of, take these tags. And now you have 20 more topics that you can start searching up and looking for. And I bet you Jeff's going to be one of the top results on here, okay? And if he's not, then I don't know why he has this as a channel tag. Okay, he doesn't. So maybe Jeff should consider switching that out. But either way, now you have 20, 30 more channels that you can look at, right? We can look at bigger pockets, which is a big one. But if we can find some smaller ones, then that would allow us to actually, like, for example, Real Estate Finance Academy with Trevor Calton, 17,000 subscribers. It's not hard to be a 17,000 subscriber channel, but it's even harder to try to beat them, okay? So we can take notes on what these kind of things are that people are doing. All right, so there's a million other channels we can find out there. We figured that out. We've got 100,000 other keywords that we can look into all day, okay? Great, we'll deal with that another time. All right, so I just inputted all those keywords. That's gonna give me plenty of opportunities to find a million other channels to worry about. Now, upload frequency, he's posting about 1 to 2 times a week. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. Overall channel notes, I'm just going to say very basic editing style. So very basic editing, only has text hooks in the intros, no B-roll. And for any of you who don't know what B-roll is, it's just secondary clips outside of the main clip like this one. So whenever I switch over to the screen recording of my laptop, that's B-roll. This is A-roll. Okay, so no B-roll, nothing like that. Just good overall topic choice. Okay, these are just very basic notes. It allows us to just see what the channel does well. All right, what do they do well? What's some inspiration we can take? Pretty much just find topics that perform well with high search volume. Pretty much, well, yeah, find the topics that perform well, and then just keep the video simple and straight to the point. Okay, that's literally all Jeff does. We don't need to take more notes on that. Now, what we want to avoid is we need faster intros to get to the point even faster. So this is something that we can improve on from Jeff. Add some potential retention editing, and that's pretty much it. There's not a ton of other things that we could really improve on from Jeff, I suppose. Retention editing, but we at the same time we don't want to overdo. So clearly, whatever is working is working. I would say maybe add some personality and mix up the content types at the beginning to see what is unique about you. And that's pretty much what we're doing for Ryan. So basically what I'm saying here is if we have the ability to do something slightly unique from Jeff, then we're going to do it. Because Jeff does the same thing every single time, and it is good that he's consistent. So something I'm also going to add here is be consistent even when not seeing results. Because clearly Jeff did a great job at that, and he's got a few videos that just really popped off, and he still posts every single week, even though he hasn't maybe gotten that successful of a video recently. But I do think from Jeff's style, something we can really improve on is just something to really reignite the viewers. Because you'll notice for an 11,000 subscriber channel, he should probably at least be getting 1,000 views per video, like a tenth of his audience watching, but no. So clearly the content needs to be refreshed a little bit. Like he's just making new videos without improving anything anymore. Like it's the same exact video every single time. All right, there's nothing that special about it. So if we were Jeff, we would improve that on that type of content, okay? And again, that's exactly what we're doing for Ryan. We're coming up with, we're improving the camera angle. This is the new camera angle style. We're doing interviews with guests. We're trying to have podcast guests on the episodes. We're adding B-roll. So we are mixing it up, but at the same time, we don't want to over mix it up. So we need to find that fine balance, okay? And that's why Jeff is a good example of what to do consistently, but we need to take ideas on how to consistently make the channel grow, okay? So top performing video title, we already found that video, which is this one. So we can even probably put a chip to that later on the other page, linking it. And yeah, I'm not actually going to put all this other information in here because we already just did that video and I showed you guys how well that video performed. But that's literally it, okay? We just took notes on exactly what this channel could do better, what it already does well, and now we have a really great idea on the kind of editing that it takes to perform well and how to improve upon one of the most successful channels in the mortgage brokerage space. Now, if you guys want to check out exactly how we're doing the growth like this for Ryan Marks' channel, then please check out SEI Mortgage by Ryan Marks. You're going to see how fast this channel is growing. We've literally only started like a month ago or a little over a month ago at this point, and there is just a ton of growth to be done. There's a ton of new things we're learning, and you're going to want to subscribe to this channel because we're going to show you exactly the growth of how we do this for every single channel that we work with and every client. So make sure to stick around for that, or check out the video on screen giving you exactly my playbook and all the information and all the systems that we use at my company, Tactical Leads, to get you the results that you're looking for on YouTube. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.